Right now. Okay,
Wish you told me that earlier.
So now, thank you candidates for answering some really tough questions and 5 really hard questions. I will say that there are many other questions that were in consideration that are really important to the community here in Quincy, both to the Asian community as well as to the entire community. So now we're going to have a closing statement for each candidate for 90 seconds. And in addition to summarizing why you feel that you would be best to serve as an at-large counselor, I just invite you to think about and perhaps speak to any other issues that you feel are really important to the Asian community that we may not have touched upon tonight. And the curveball is that we'd like to ask Mr. Stugas to start with the closing statement.
Thank you very, very much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. I got into this because I was one of you, and basically I saw things happening around me, and I realized that if I don't get involved, if I don't do my part, this country was made for a moral and religious people. It will do for no other, and that is the words of John Adams, who lived here and worked here and helped found our country. And I want to do my part, and so I'm here to do that. I've worked to help lower taxes for you. I've worked on local issues, and it takes someone who has a love up there to be able to love outward. And so that's what I do. I'm on 2 state boards. I'm the chaplain of the Massachusetts Faith and Freedom Coalition. We have 1.3 million Americans. So I've gotten involved in so many different things, and I'm just going to continue to try to do what I can. And if you want me to continue to be an activist, I have been at large for you all this time, and if you want me as your city councilor, please vote for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to all of you today. I'm the only candidate up here that has small children. I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. A very small young family. I'm fully invested into our community and our city moving forward. My motives is not for the benefit of me, it's for the benefit of all of you. I'm not going to put my family through this type of situation if I didn't care about all of you. My sacrifice and dedication towards all of you will continue. I haven't missed one city council meeting up here since I've been on the city council. I started as a Park and Recreation Board member, became a school committee member, and then became an at-large member. I did it in steps, and I learned the process of the city. Fully invested, community activist, also coaching football, also helping out veterans. Very important that we continue to educate our children and the public safety for our seniors. I visit senior housings on a yearly basis. It's funny how everybody comes out when it's election time, but what are they doing in the off years? I continuously have been actively out there in the city of Quincy, continuously in the off years, making myself available to all of you. I don't just show up at election time. I'm always out there for you. All I ask, you get 3 votes for councilors at large. For my re-election, I ask all of you to help me out with one of those 3 votes. Thank you for giving me the opportunity tonight. I won't let you down.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Ms. LaTorres.
Thank you. It has been an honor and a privilege to represent Ward 1 on the City Council for 8 years. I have always been civically engaged in our community. I have over 3 decades of volunteer service with many of our organizations. It is imperative that we protect the integrity of our neighborhoods, preserve Quincy's proud history, promote environmental awareness and economic development in our community. I am known for my strong work ethic, and I'm going to channel that energy to represent the entire city of Quincy. I mentioned in our opening statement my priorities. It's the same for all of you. The quality of life in our community, the future sustainability, the affordability. You have 3 votes in the councilor at large position. Respectfully, I, Margaret LaForest, ask for one of your 3 votes on Election Day, November 7th, to represent you in the city of Quincy as a councilor at large. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Lang.
Thank you. So John, to go along the lines of what you were speaking of, one of the issues that I believe is facing our community that had not been addressed is the number of voters that come out and engage with city government, with city elections, does not reflect the diverse community that we have here in this city. In talking to folks over the years, not just when I was in elected office, what I find is that there's a lot of fear and a lot of unknowns with folks here in the community. We are all here to serve all of you. We are your bosses. I mean, you are our bosses. We answer to you. And when folks come out and tell me, no, I'm afraid to go and vote because somebody there doesn't speak my language, or I'm afraid to go and vote because what if I get arrested for voting for the wrong person? There's all this misinformation out there, and it leads to a community that does not take advantage of a right that is theirs to go and cast a vote to determine who their elected officials and their representatives are going to be. And I can tell you that these last 2 years serving all of you have been an amazing opportunity. It's been a tremendous honor and it's a responsibility, and it's one that I take very seriously as your city councilor. I've worked to expect even more of myself, and I think that's what sets me apart. It's the unique perspective, the important perspective that I bring to the council. As a woman, as a millennial, as an Asian American, I know that I want to continue to be your voice for our city, and I humbly ask for one of your 3 votes in my re-election to the city council. Thank you.
I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. Quincy is my heart and soul. I was born and I was raised here. My parents are here. They're 87 and 90. Much like many in the audience, they're generational. Their families are important. Education was important to our family. Community was important to my family. Being involved in our city is important to my family, just as it is to all of you. It's important that you feel safe in your city. It's important that you feel heard in our city. I want to be that voice for you on the city council, so you can feel protected in the community that you live in. I want you to become involved and active. I want you to vote. If you're not registered, I can help you get registered to vote. It's important that you take an active role in your community so that your voices can be heard. But even if you don't vote, I want you to know that I'm a person that you can come to, that you can talk to me about the concerns that you have, and that I will make sure that you're represented here in the community that you live in, the community that we live in. I feel as though I've lived here in Quincy my whole life, but becoming an elected official has given me the opportunity to extend my family. I've become part of other people's backgrounds. You have allowed me into your families. I know very many of you here in the audience tonight and your concerns and your fears, but I want to be there to take those fears away and to make you feel safe and at home, just like we all should feel in this city. I want to be your voice on the city council. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Raymond.
Thank you for the invitation. Jonathan did a great job. Thank you all for coming. It's been a pleasure for me to be here. I want to focus on a couple of things that I talked about earlier. One is schools. We all agree how important and how valuable education is for our youngsters, our families, and our community. I served eight years on the Quincy School Committee, making our schools better. At a time when Quincy was closing schools, we insisted on opening schools up and rebuilding them. So many of the families that are here tonight, many of the families across the city have benefited from that work. So if you're concerned about quality education within the city of Quincy, I'm one of your 3 votes. As a city council, I wrote the hotel motel legislation that is unique in Quincy's history. It's brought in $15 million and counting. And those funds are used for open space, parks, playgrounds, beaches, and school improvements. All the things that all of you really care about. As a Public Works Commissioner, my dad was working for the Public Works Department as well. I know the value of roads and how important it is to repair those roads. So what I offer you as a candidate is someone who has a comprehensive approach to government, fiscal responsibility, quality schools, quality police protection, fire safety, and public works. So I humbly ask for one of your 3 votes on November 7th. Thank you for your attention. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Raymond. I want to say thank you to all of our candidates for your participation and your responses tonight. And I invite everyone now to join me in a really loud round of applause to thank him for it. I want to say thank you again to the organizers and sponsors, Quincy Asian Resources, the Asian Community Development Corporation, our co-sponsor South Code Community Health Center, and North Quincy High School for hosting this evening's forum. I'd like to please remind people that the deadline to register to vote for this election is October 18th. And if you are already registered, but you know someone else who isn't, please encourage them to do so. We urge all of you to please continue to learn and learn more about the issues and learn more about the candidates. And most of all, we encourage all of you to vote on Tuesday, November 7th. Your voice and your vote make a difference. Thank you very much for coming, and have a good night.